Hey guys, what is up, and welcome you to another episode of League of Myths. Another huge thank you to each and every one of you for the overwhelming support on this series. If you do enjoy this episode, please don't forget to throw down a like down below and also maybe share it with your friends. But without any further ado, let's jump to the first myth. This myth, submitted by the XLCJ, is: what if you Draven ulti and then TP to where the axes are gonna go? What happens to the axes? In order to test this one, to make sure that I reach maximum range on the ultimate, just in case the ultimate goes past me before I make the teleport, I went into the enemy base. As you can see, I flash over the wall and put a ward just beside their fountain. And then I will go back to my base, in this case obviously die, and then while I'm in my base, I will throw my ulti and teleport to this ward. This is only the first test case scenario, where I will simply just throw the ulti and stand in the same spot and just watch what happens if it goes past me or if he just automatically catches it. As I throw the ultimate and I teleport to the ward, as the ultimate is coming, it goes right by me, and I have to wait a bit more before it automatically returns and Draven automatically catches it. But there's one more scenario that I wanted to test. In this case, what happens if I press R as the ulti is still flying to that location? As I teleport to the ward, I actually press R right there, as you saw the ulti axis slow down for a brief second as they pretty much just determined where Draven's location is, and they went straight to me. The next myth submitted to us by Redmercy is: if you used Lux's E or any other ability that's very similar to it, level it, and then you explode it, which level's damage will apply? So in order to test this one, I decided to use E at level 1 first, see what damage it did, and then use it once more and then put a point into it as it's hovering over Annie and compare the damage. So as you can see, it did 65 damage at rank 1. But now, what if I throw my E and then put a point into it as it's hovering over Annie? And I do exactly that. As I throw the E, I put a point into it and then I explode it. And in this case, it ended up doing 105 damage. So what we can conclude is that if you use Lux's E and then level it as the E is hovering over an area, the damage will be applied from the leveled up version of the E. But out of pure curiosity, I was wondering what happens with Lux's Q. Does it work the exact same way? So I did the exact same test principles. Level 1 Q did 68 damage to the Annie. Now what if I throw my Q and as the Q is still flying, I level it up? Will it do more damage, or will it do the damage that the level 1 Q did? As I finally got my Q off of cooldown, I throw it, I level it up as I threw it, and it did the exact same damage still. And then just to make sure that I didn't mess anything up, I threw the Q at level 2 just to make sure that it actually does do more damage. Just in case, you can never be too sure. The next myth that we tested and that was submitted by Eden is: will a Nautilus ulti follow you if you teleport away or you go back to base? So for this myth, we decided to do 3 different test case scenarios. The first one: what if I use a summoner spell teleport to a very far away location on Summoner's Rift? And as I use it on the top turret while being in the bottom lane, Nautilus uses his ultimate just before I teleport away and it completely cancels out. The next scenario we want to try out is: what if I just back to base from almost anywhere on the map that is somewhat far away from the base, just in case there was a special interaction with the summoner teleport. And once again, the exact same scenario is applied. Just before I back to base, he fires the ultimate at me and it completely cancels out as well. But finally, the last test case scenario we want to try out is: what if I use teleport on an area that is extremely close to my initial location? And in this case, as I teleport to the turret that is a few feet away from me, the Nautilus ulti does follow. So if the location is within a certain area, it will follow you. If it's too far, it will not. And the final myth submitted by Carl: what if Vi ultis a Malphite and then Malphite ultis past the Vi? Who stops who damages who, and just what exactly happens? So for this myth, we position the Malphite and the Vi just beside each other, and as the Vi uses her ultimate first, the Malphite ultis right past her. And as it happens, the Vi still does damage to the Malphite, and the Malphite still goes to his location, so she does not stop him. But Malphite cannot move once he lands until Vi finishes channeling her ability. But in another scenario, what if Malphite does not ulti past her, but instead onto the location where she will be ulting him? And as it happens, the Vi this time actually knocks him up in the air, but Malphite does deal damage to her. As you can see, she is a bit lower on HP. So nothing will stop Vi ultimate, even though the Malphite will still do the damage. Alright guys, that unfortunately does mark the end of this episode of League of Myths. Please do throw in a like down below if you did enjoy this episode, and also maybe share it with your friends. You can also write down your myth suggestions down below under this video, or tweet at me at RedmercyLOL, or you can go to my Facebook fan page RedmercyLOL and post there as well. And maybe you will see your name in the next episode. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you next time. Peace!